The dangers of massive debt go far beyond domestic politics. Vice President Biden said today big deficits could become a national security issue. Chief Washington correspondent Jim Engel continues his series, One Nation Under Debt, with a look at how the U.S. can be vulnerable to pressure from foreign creditors.
The U.S. is like a drug addict, except our addiction is to credit because we're spending far more money than we have. We agonized for 3 decades about dependence on foreign oil, but last year 68% of our borrowing came from abroad, so now we have a dependence on foreign credit.
We've gone from the largest creditor nation to the largest debtor nation. We've gone from, at the end of World War II, where we had no foreign debt, to where now 50% of debt held by the public is held by foreign lenders.
China became our biggest creditor last year. Japan is number 2. Anybody that doesn't think that doesn't have an effect on our policy, I think, is just detached from reality.
There are plenty of potential conflicts. When the U.S. announced arms sales to Taiwan this week, which China argues is part of its territory, it suspended some military exchanges and postponed some negotiations with the U.S. China is also upset about U.S. contacts with the Dalai Lama in Tibet. Just today, a Chinese official said if President Obama meets with the Dalai Lama, it would threaten trust and cooperation between the two nations. That's the kind of language that raises questions.
We are now so over-leveraged and so dependent on other countries showing up when we issue our treasury options that it starts to affect foreign policy.
And China would have to do literally nothing to exercise some leverage on the U.S. When we go begging for trillions of dollars, all China has to do is just sit on the sidelines and watch us squirm.
They have an extreme amount of leverage, but they could exercise the leverage simply by doing something that everybody in the world is free to do, which is to decide to buy this asset as opposed to that asset.
In fact, China and Japan have already flexed their muscles. They had large investments in the two mortgage giants, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which were taken over by the federal government after trillions in losses. China and Japan made clear they expected the U.S. to guarantee every last dollar.
Most Americans don't know it. The fact of the matter is the reason that the taxpayers are now on the hook for $5 trillion in contingent liabilities for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac debt is because the Japanese and Chinese demanded it.
If we said no, they might have been less willing to loan us more money, especially at reasonable rates. We're so desperate for money, so addicted, it makes us extremely vulnerable to pressure if China decides to exercise it. Brett?